I'll open the meeting of August 21st, Board of Health. First, I'll read. Please note, this meeting is being recorded and will be available shortly hereafter for scheduled and on-demand viewing on any smartphone or tablet device. If anyone else is recording this meeting, please notify the chairman. Pursuant to Governor Healy's March 29, 2023 signing of the Acts of 2023 extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency, suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, GL 30A and 20, until March 31, 2025, this meeting of the Chatham Board of Health is being conducted in person and via remote participation. Every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings as provided for in the order. A reminder that persons who would like to listen to this meeting while in progress may do so by calling the phone number 508-945-4410, conference ID 372-165-957#, or join the meeting online via Microsoft Teams through the link in the posted agenda. While this is a live broadcast and simulcast on Channel 18, despite our best efforts, we may not be able to provide real-time access. We will post a record of this meeting on the town's website as soon as possible. Kirk will open the meeting. It shall be the policy of this board to conduct its meetings under the open meetings law so as to encourage public participation whenever time permits and as part of agenda item discussions. Okay, we have 5 items and an update. And first, let's establish a quorum. So when I call your name, please say present. John Beckley.
Present.
Ron. Here. Judy. Carol Gordon.
Oh, here.
You're alternate.
Here.
Noble Hanson here. Okay, so we have a quorum. And the first item is we had to change the order. I apologize if anyone is here and has to wait, but the discussion presentation with Judy Giorgio on the public health collaborative was scheduled to be fourth, and we have to move it up to first because of availability. Katie O'Neill will be making that presentation for Judy, and I'll just quickly read this. This has to do with the Cape Public Health Collaborative and working towards an intermunicipal agreement. The Chatham Health Division has been participating for the past year in the Cape Public Health Collaborative, which is funded by a grant from the Department of Public Health through the state. The town is now being asked to formalize this collaborative with and the signing of an intermunicipal agreement. So we're getting information today. We're not voting today. And I can turn things over to Katie O'Neill and have her make the presentation. And I assume you take some questions if we have them.
Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate you moving me up on the agenda today and accommodating my schedule. Would it be okay if I shared some slides with you right now?
Yes.
Let's see. Is that coming through? You see the slides okay?
No. Not yet. We still see you.
Gotta love technology, right? How about now?
Yes.
Yes, we have number
Perfect.
1 right now.
Perfect. Fantastic. So as mentioned, my name is Katie O'Neill. I am the Shared Services Manager for Barnstable County. The Public Health Excellence Grant was created in order to expand sharing of public health staff and resources. The grant came about from a Special Commission on Local and Regional Public Health report done in 2019 and is funded under the SAFE Act, which I'll get into. The Special Commission on Local and Regional Public Health made recommendations on how to strengthen the delivery of public health services through their Blueprint for Public Health Excellence report, which you may have seen at some point. The Special Commission was established in 2016 to assess the effectiveness and efficiency of public health systems and make recommendations on strengthening the delivery of services. It covered a multi-sector of departments and organizations. Some of the recommendations included elevating standards, strengthening services delivery, improving reporting, and setting training and educational standards. Part of what the commission did was to submit the SAFE Act, the State Action for Public Health Excellence. The act was filed in 2019 and passed into law pretty quickly in April of 2020. Recently, SAFE 2.0 has been submitted, but is not yet passed. SAFE 2.0 proposes to expand on the existing act through increasing data collection and reporting, increasing capacity, establish sustainable state funding, and ensure minimum standards are being met in every community. The benefits of the Public Health Excellence Grant include receiving a little more than $481,000 annually shared among the participating municipalities. It protects and improves the health of communities, improves compliance, and connects communities with more resources. Some of the allowable expenses include staff, consultants, travel costs, health communications, technology hardware, technology software, training and credentialing, supplies, membership fees, occupancy and admin support, and unallowable expenses include food, gift cards or incentives, vaccines, supplanting existing municipal funds, vehicles, capital expenses, any out-of-state travel, certain equipment like a generator, academic degree programs, training by outside vendors, and multi-year service contracts are not allowed either. So far, all of the Cape Towns are taking part in this grant program except for Falmouth, Barnstable, and Yarmouth. I've recently just started in this role, so I'm actively working on recruiting them as we speak. Regardless of whether or not towns take part in the grant program, their residents are still paying for the grant through their tax dollars. So it really makes sense to take part in the program. Even if you don't get a ton of services out of it, your residents are still paying for the program through their taxes. The mission of the collaborative is to curate reliable health and environmental data, advocate for public health interests, provide technical support, and engage communities. So far, the funding is covering my position, the grant manager, a part-time administrative assistant, the relevant inspectional software, iPads with the software, and the collaborative just recently voted to look into hiring a shared health inspector that would be primarily utilized on the Outer Cape, but could be utilized by any of the towns in need. Some of the other program options that we're going to be discussing are different trainings through either the VNA or counting nursing, the educational or other certificates that could be used, but there's quite a variety of options that the grant could cover depending on which way the governance board wants to go. And the governance board is actually just made out of representatives from each of the participating towns. So Judy's part of the governance board. And if Judy's not available, then she would send someone in her place. It's right now 12 towns. Each town has one vote on the governance board. There are absolutely no financial obligations of repayment, and towns can opt out of the grant program at any time without penalty. Any municipal costs incurred outside of the scope of the agreement still remain within the individual municipalities, and any funds contributed by the grant need to still be consistent with the purposes of the grant and the intermunicipal agreement. One example of an existing PHE grant program is on Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard. They utilized their funding to hire a shared health inspector, hire a part-time biologist, and hire a part-time epidemiologist that is geared to looking into tick-borne illnesses. And the last step to really getting our grant program off the ground is to have all the participating towns sign the intermunicipal agreement. It's been vetted by independent attorney Rich Mucci. by KP Law, who is the county's attorney, as well as a lot of the other municipalities. And the Massachusetts Association of Health Boards is also vetted through their legal counsel as well. So I know I just threw a lot of information at you. I'll stop sharing my screen. Let's see, how do I stop? There we go. So I'm happy to take any questions that anyone has.
Yeah, first, I'd ask, can you say more about why Falmouth, Barnstable, and Yarmouth aren't in the group so far? Is there any specific reason for that? Or do they have hesitancy, or is it just an administrative thing?
I believe it's administrative at this point, but I have reached out to them. We're hoping to schedule some time to hear those reasons.
Okay. And then at the end of the grant period, it says the town's obligated for funding. How is the ongoing funding of people hired or whatever is started during the grants? How is it anticipated that that will be funded?
So it's a 3-year grant cycle. So the one that we've received, we're on year 2 of 3 years, and it's renewable 3 times so far.
Okay.
So it's nine years total.
Oh, so you're hoping to renew the grant? Okay.
At least short term.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right. Other questions from the board? Carol?
I have a question. I was wondering the percentage of monies that goes directly towards healthcare programs as opposed to staff, consultants, et cetera. Is there a percentage there?
There's not a percentage at this point. That's something the governance board is discussing and voting on.
What's the source of the funding? How is the tax assessed?
State.
The state, yes.
It's a state. So the state appropriation is what provides the funding. Okay, thank you.
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
I have another question. I was just wondering about healthcare for people who can't afford it. Would this grant provide anything like this, or as part of your mission statement?
I'd have to look into that a little bit deeper. That's a good question.
Okay.
I don't believe it would be covered, but that's something I could certainly reach out and get clarified.
Okay, thank you.
My interpretation of this is that this is not really health care per se. It's enhancing public health capacity and public health ability to deliver public health services. Is that true?
Correct. That is
It's
the
really about
intent of it.
infrastructure building and encouraging sharing of capacities from one municipality to another. Particularly, say there was a big food poisoning outbreak and you needed to coordinate a regional response, right? You could bring in epidemiologists and reassign inspectors from one town to go help with a broader challenge. Is that along?
You've hit the nail on the head. That's exactly the
Okay.
intent of it. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And then when is it anticipated the intermunicipal agreement might be signed? What's the time period that you're shooting for? Do you know?
So right now, we're just getting any comment. It should be done at this point, but if you have any concerns with it, I would love to hear those.
So you're anticipating it by the end of this year, then hopefully it would be signed? Is that what you're hoping for? Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
All right, other questions from the board? I guess, any questions from the public? Anything online? Okay. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
Okay. That's good. Okay, now, next on the agenda is a continuation of a show cause hearing for Matthew Nutting, 130 Old Queen Anne Road, an order for a sewer connection extension. There was a long history. It goes back a number of years. And I believe there was nobody here to present the case at the last meeting. That's partly why it was continued. Do we have someone here to present Mr. Nutting? Or, yeah, Matthew Nutting. Yeah, come on up to the microphone. And Judy's not here today, and I know there's been some communication back and forth. And we have some plans from Engineer Moran Engineering.
That's right, yeah.
And
Yep.
maybe you can provide an update of where we stand right now?
Yeah, I just stopped by Sean's office. He hasn't been able to write up a contract yet, but, he's working on that. It's on the top of his list now, so maybe another couple days, he might have a contract for me to drop off here, signed contract you were looking for.
And who is Sean?
He's A&S Construction. He's on the top of your sewer and hookup list.
Okay, so the Moran Engineering plan
Yep.
for the sewer hookup is completed?
Yeah, yeah, and it's in his office now.
And then you have contacted an
A&S.
installer?
Yep,
And you're waiting for that contract?
right.
So then, when you get that, you would forward that to Judy? So
Yep.
she knows that that's in the works and when that will occur,
Right,
because that would be important.
totally.
Do you have a sense of how long it would be after you sign the contract
You
until
know, I have no idea how long. I know he said it'd only take a couple days, but I know Sean's got stuff piled up like this. you know.
Right,
But, hopefully not long.
okay.
It depends, well, I'll see what he says. I'll talk to him in the next couple
No,
days.
drawing up the contract won't be that,
That's right.
right, but
Right.
getting in queue and waiting to
Well, I
have,
bet he'd write that in his contract. I would probably
Okay.
imagine it would say,
like, 2
you know,
weeks, 30
a deposit will
days.
be paid, I'm sure, for someone to sign the, you know,
Okay,
he'll say when he'd
okay.
like to do it.
Well, we're certainly pleased to see this moving forward,
Yeah, totally.
you know?
There's a few stragglers left on the road.
Yeah,
Okay, so then you'll get to Judy the
Yeah.
contract and an approximate date of when it
Yeah,
would
when he thinks
be
he can
done.
do it, yeah.
And then Judy will look at that information, and
Share
then
that.
she'll keep us informed of the progress, and then if we need to have another hearing, you know, we'll do that, but
Yeah.
we'll leave it up to her to contact you and work that out.
Yeah, as soon as I get it from him, which should be a couple days, I would imagine, I'll
Okay.
bring it back to her.
All right, that's good,
Upstairs.
that's great progress. Any other questions or comments from the board?
no,
Any comments or questions from the public? Okay.
All right, thanks.
That's great, thank you very much.
no problem.
And Judy can't be here today, but she'll be back shortly, I think.
All right, awesome.
Okay. And next, we have a continuation of a variance hearing and approval, IA Technology, David and Patricia Drollinger, 171 Morris Island Road, East Southeast LLC, and is Thad here? Okay, so Thad has, Thad Eldridge has submitted in writing and says, on behalf of my clients, David and Patricia Drollinger, I request that the variance request for the above referenced property be withdrawn.
okay.
Thank you for your attention. So the variance request is being withdrawn for the 171 Morris Island Road.
Okay,
So I think that's pretty straightforward.
Need a vote on that?
A vote on that? Okay, we'll take a vote to accept that. Any comments from the public on that? Okay, so maybe we can get a motion to accept
also move?
in a second? All right, and maybe we can take a voice vote to accept the withdrawal. All in favor say aye.
Aye,
All opposed say no. Okay, so we accept the withdrawal of that variance request for 171 Morris Island Road. Okay. Next is a variance hearing and approval of IA Technology for Jennifer and John O'Donohue, 233 Barcliff Avenue, Down Cape Engineering. And this is an application, there's an existing two-bedroom dwelling on a 10,957 square foot lot, and they are adding, they're proposing to be able to add a third bedroom with a conversion of Title V to IA Technology. This application occurred before our August 1st date when we changed our some of our regulations. And we have someone to present the case. Is this from Down Cape?
Yes, correct. For the record, my name is Dan Ojala. I'm a land surveyor and civil engineer with Down Cape Engineering in Yarmouthport, here on behalf of the Donahues. This is, yeah, correct. It's a 10,957 square foot lot. It's not an estate zone two, but we are, as is typical with the IA technology, asking for one additional bedroom. That's over what would typically be allowed under your Chatham regulations. We've chosen a microfast IA system, which has the general denitrification, one of the few systems that does have that. And it will replace the existing septic tank, and then all we had to do is add a foot of stone on the south end of the field in order to get the leaching field up to the 3 bedrooms. Our client's planning a future addition and would like the ability to add that bedroom. Again, if we did the 2 bedroom, I'd have to put a deed restriction on it and would really appreciate being able to go to the 3. It's not near any wetlands at all, and it's connected to town water. Medium sand, bottom of system is well over 5 feet to groundwater. We're looking at, by providing the IA components in the septic tank and the 5-foot plus separation to the bottom of the field to the groundwater, we feel this design would not measurably contribute nitrate to any ground or surface water. For these reasons, we respectfully ask you approve the variance. And it's a very modest home. This is a street view picture. It's just like a little ranch. And Judy was mentioning you guys like to see the floor plans, but it's such a simple little house. What they're gonna do is there's 2 bedrooms on the first floor. We're gonna take down the wall between them, make that a master, and then just put 2 bedrooms up. So it'd be a stairway up with 2 bedrooms up and a bath on the upper level. We could have plans ready for your next meeting if you'd like to continue for those plans, but if it's possible to have a written description simply to dissolve one of the bedrooms on the first floor and provide 2 bedrooms up, subject to the review and approval of the health agent at a future time, would be very appreciative, but your call on that. Be glad to answer any questions if you do have them.
Yeah, so the plans for the 3rd bedroom don't exist yet, correct?
No, we've got somebody working on them, but everyone's busy.
Yeah. So we have firmed up, as of August 1st, our requests for plans where they're formal plans with windows, doors, and measurements so that we can sort of look to see what's a legal bedroom and what's not.
Yeah.
And Judy has put in the conditions, floor plans must be submitted of the proposed dwelling showing the 3rd bedroom and approved by the board or its agent prior to issuance of the permit to construct. So that will have to be done in advance, but I'll just open up to the board. Any questions or comments on the request for a variance? Ron?
Did this come in before we changed,
Yes.
Yes, this is yeah, grandfathered.
okay, thank you.
So, yeah, this is a 2-bedroom house on a 10,000 square foot lot, and an extra bedroom converting Title V to IA under the old system, we would do that.
I would move that it be continued till they have plans.
Till we see the floor plan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
till we can see the floor plans.
But it says in the conditions, Judy does recommend
That the floor
that
plan
they,
must be submitted.
yes, Judy recommends that we approve the applicant's request with the stipulation that the following conditions be met, one of which is that floor plans must be submitted of the proposed dwelling showing the 3rd bedroom and approved by the board prior to issuance of the permit to construct. So I'm not clear, maybe Lucas can clarify. Is Judy saying that we need to see the detailed floor plans before we approve the variance? Or is she saying that if we want to approve it, we can with the stipulation that?
I've been a little involved in this one. To my understanding, she's saying that she's recommending that it be approved, but we hold off on issuing the permit until those floor plans are received.
Okay.
Yeah,
That
so
would be
we issue
completely fine.
the variance for the third bedroom,
Yeah.
but we would have to see the plans before the permit is given. But we could also request that they come back at that time before the board with the plans so that we all can review it for the,
Right.
before the
Maybe that's the way to do it.
permit to construct. Couldn't we do that?
We should be able to
You
review.
can do either way, but I think Lucas was correct with what she's saying. She would review the floor plans and make sure they're 3 bedrooms, and then we wouldn't issue a permit until,
Yeah.
It
So it
is-
could be done, either she would do it on her
Either way.
own, or we'd
Yeah.
come back before the board. But I just opened up to the board. What do people think?
I think we should be able to review them.
Okay.
I think so too. I think we should have it all at once, all together.
Okay, so then it would follow that we are able to entertain and,
We would continue
A pat-
until we see the.
or we could approve it.
Yeah, I mean,
say
I
that-
think.
It's like 6 of one, a half dozen
Yeah, I
of
think
the other.
Judy, I mean, my own thought would be, we would follow Judy's recommendation. We would approve the third bedroom, but the building permit would be pending review of the actual plans of the house and the extra bedroom, and either Judy herself would do it, or the board would do it.
Kick it to us.
And we could stipulate that, I guess. Judy thought she could do it, but we could do it as well if that makes people feel more comfortable.
What
No,
if,
I think
what if
we
we don't
should.
approve the, the plans when they come back with the bedrooms, things like this, then we start. then we-
Yeah, my own thought is that it's pretty straightforward that they're eligible for the third bedroom by our rules. And it's only,
But they're not gonna
Looking at the
do
plans.
anything till they have the plans.
correct.
So why
then-
can't they just continue it till they have the plans?
Then we have everything all together,
Right.
the whole package.
We're not holding them up. They're not doing anything.
No, yeah, well,
It'd be pretty administrative at that point, and we're fine with that. They're working on the plans, and I don't know if you guys meet 2 weeks, or is it a month for your next meeting?
that's your time frame for the plan?
Yeah,
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 Yeah.
they can check in on it.
right. So I mean, I think as long as we have a record that it's grandfathered before the August 1 rule change,
Right.
that you won't have any problem with this thing if we just continue the whole thing until the plans are available. That's
Right.
fine with me if that's what the board wants to do.
Yeah, we'd want to continue to a time and date certain. Would you estimate that, when is your next scheduled meeting roughly?
September 11th,
What's the date?
Yeah,
September 11th.
a few weeks away.
September 11th.
I'll tell you what, you'll live in infamy.
And then our September 18th meeting has
I don't
been
know.
canceled, so we don't know what the meeting after that.
Let's just continue it to the 11th. If it'll be administrative, we'll know a week in advance if we have to continue again. but that
October
way we'll keep
2nd is the
record.
next one, so it's the 11th?
11th
or
is
the s-
perfect.
11th, okay.
Yep, Yep,
So we could continue the application for the variance to our September 11th meeting, at which time plans would be available of the house, because we review that, and the proposed bedroom.
correct.
Okay.
We don't object to that. I'm John O'Donohue, one of the homeowners.
How do you
And just
do?
to clarify, I learned 3 days ago that we needed plans for this meeting, so I apologize to all of you. We would have had plans prepared for this meeting had we had more notice. Yeah,
All right,
yeah. So thank you.
okay, understood.
So very simple matter, but may as well continue as we're
Yeah,
in
and
not a big rush, so.
we'll stipulate that it's grandfathered, so that will continue along, it won't change. So can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion that we continue this agenda item at our upcoming September 11th Board of Health meeting.
I'll second.
And then, okay, and can any comment from the public? And then I guess we don't need to read the conditions yet.
We have to vote.
And we can get a voice vote on that to issue on the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Okay, so that's continued until September 11th.
Excellent. We'll see you then. Thank you very much
Okay,
for your
thank
time.
you. Okay. Oh, let me just get this out. right, we've done 4 up at the beginning. And now the next item on the agenda is an update on John McGrath, 32 Mill Hill Road. And Lucas can correct me, but as I understand it, the Mass Department of Environmental Pollution is going to get together and give us some guidance for our next meeting or a future meeting. And so we don't have anything new information today. Whether that next meeting is in executive session or a regular session will be determined by the kind of information we get, because if it's something very specific and important, then it'll have to be executive committee. Lucas, are you aware of anything else to add to that?
It is to my information that we should get that further information by September 18th from the state, so it should be by that time.
Yeah.
So
then-
you don't know what it is we're exactly getting from.
No,
That's
no,
what I
just
was-
further guidance
type of
from the
guidance.
state.
But I think
Yeah.
the situation has been that they haven't really replied, and there's been a change of personnel, and it's
Yeah.
been rattling around. But Judy's been in communication with the person there that's now in charge of this issue.
Okay.
They have promised to get back to us with something, but we don't know what it is, right? We just want to get some closure on the Mass DEP aspect of it so that we can then have a discussion about how we move forward from there.
Could we not ask them to have it by September 11th, so we have it for our next meeting instead of the 18th, then it has to wait even longer? Could we make a request?
We can make a request, but
They said the 18th.
that's what they told us, yes.
So maybe.
I can run it by Judy, but she's been the one in contact with
Right,
them, but I
okay.
can.
Maybe they could, and then we'd have it for the next meeting, and then we're, we don't have to
We
wait.
can have them make their request,
Yeah.
and then if not, it'll be the meeting after the 18th.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, which is probably, I think what Judy indicated is when it would be, but it's been a slow process. And
To say the least.
like I say, cleaning up the rest of the yard is not simple. That also is a process. But our question would be when we start deciding what exactly we're going to do. And I think actually the fire department's involved there too, because there is a fire hazard determination on the property as well. So I don't know that we can do anything else today. Any other comments? Anything from the public on 32 Mill Hill? No questions? Okay. No vote there. All right, and then the last, kind of added on our agenda here is an update on Pamela Bowden, 34 Woodpecker Road, O&M agreement status, and this comes from our last meeting. This is, if you remember, this is an issue that's been going on for a while. She hasn't had an O&M agreement on her IA technology system. The blower portion of it has been deemed failed by the engineering firm. And it's been time, so we are wanting to see a signed agreement and a repair of the IA system. So, Lucas, do you have any more information on this one?
No, I don't. I haven't been in contact with her. I believe that, is it wastewater who's doing it? Wastewater, I believe they put together a contract and have sent it to her, and they're just waiting on signatures. That's where they are in the process right now.
Is this the issue we discussed about Judy moving ahead with?
Yes.
Some type of?
Yes.
Yes, and she's working on that, and the Pamela Bowden did not appear at our last hearing.
Right.
I would ask, is she available at this meeting today? Is she online, or did you want to speak, or? Okay, no input. But yes, we had decided that we would move ahead.
With
taking
enforcement.
Legal action.
Right.
While we're getting the other information, because it's been a delay, and we wanted to push this along as much as we can.
Right.
John, did you have something else?
No.
Okay.
I know that Judy was in contact with Pamela Bowden and wastewater, and they've been talking about this. So that's what we're waiting for now is the signed contract, and then they're gonna do the repair and
Right.
do that.
I think Judy has seen a contract.
Yes,
But it has not been signed and paid for
Correct.
yet, so it's not.
right.
Yeah,
And we're being very careful to have evidence that she has a contract and that the repair has been made before we start looking at this.
yeah, contract, to my knowledge, has been constructed but not signed yet.
Excuse me, how long does she have to sign the contract? Because this has been going on for a long time.
Well, I think, my understanding is that Judy's proceeding with the legal aspect at
Okay.
the same time.
Okay,
So,
Right.
and that's a process too.
Maybe Luke, Judy will be back. I guess we don't have to worry about March 11th now, but.
March 11th.
Okay, September 11th. So I guess Judy will be back in time that we can have a clear sense of whether this is
Right.
continuing to be delayed or whether it really is gonna happen in a timely way.
Yeah, that's my understanding as well.
Because I know that she was gonna reach out to the district court. She was gonna run something by town council. But I don't know quite the timing of those steps.
I believe the contract that was constructed was relatively recent, that she was sent.
Okay.
And that's why it's still kind of in the proceedings right now, because is a newer contract,
Okay.
although an ongoing issue.
Okay, thank you.
But my understanding was that from Judy, it looked like things were moving towards a signed contract. but
Right.
She hasn't actually seen that signed contract yet.
All right.
So, but that's a big change from
It's like
before, just that
waiting for
amount.
ketchup to come out of the top of the anticipation, right?
Okay, other questions from the board? So that's another, and then any input or questions from the public or online on 34 Woodpecker Road? Okay. All
We
right.
do have minutes to approve.
Yeah, we have minutes of August 7th. Any revisions or changes from the board on those minutes?
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes of August 7th, 2023.
In a second? Okay, we can take a voice vote on that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say no. Okay, those minutes are approved. And then, old business to bring up? And then, any questions or comments from the public that we'll entertain now? Lucas, anything online, or? Okay. All right, then, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So move?
In a second? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we are adjourned, so we'll turn off our mics.